Hello students and welcome to Lesson 10, Day 1. In this final series of lessons, we're going to kind of wrap up some things. You're going to get to play some old songs. You're going to get to accompany some musicians. And I just want to let you know it's been a pleasure to teach you. Don't ever hesitate to send me a question. And remember that the videos will continue to be on YouTube. So if you want to go back and review everything you've had, you can certainly look back over your old emails and review your piano class. Now I want to explain some things in these first two lessons about keys and key signatures. We've played some songs that were in the key of F that had the 1 B flat. Remember when you played Amazing Grace. And don't forget when we played Hot Cross Buns and we played Deck the Halls, we always had to play F sharp. And I told you that that was part of being in a key signature. So I'm going to explain this in video 1 and video 2 of this lesson. First of all, when I refer to a key here, I'm not referring to the keys on your piano. Sometimes people get that confused. I'm referring to the concept of music being in a key. I assume at some point in your life you've heard somebody say, well, I like to sing in this key, or we need to change the key of this song. I'd like to show you a chart of all the different keys. Let me move this down here, there. This we can see is 1 flat. It's called the key of F. This is 1 sharp. It's called the key of G. This means over here that if you have 1 flat in the key signature, it's going to be B flat. If you have 1 sharp in the key signature, it's going to be F. Now, we've already learned that. And I think I hinted that 1 sharp meant it was in the key of G. 1 flat meant it was the key of F. And then you see what's called the circle of fifths here. This is a graphic that I'll include in your lesson. You see 2 flats means the key of B flat. 3 flats means the key of E flat. And then here on the sharp side, we continue 2 sharps means the key of D. By the way, these 2 sharps would be F and C. These 2 flats would be B and E. All you'd have to do is just kind of figure out the names of the lines and the spaces, and you'd be able to figure that out for yourself. This is a helpful thing that explains key signatures. This is a very difficult concept to understand if you've never had music, but don't worry, this can be learned in time. And by the way, this chart is called the circle of fifths because it goes from C to G, up to D, up to A, up to E, etc. And as you can tell alphabetically, that's just going up by fifths. Let me flip over here and answer some common key signature questions. First question that everybody asks me is this. Can a key have 1 B flat and it isn't B flat? Or can a key have 2 sharps and those 2 sharps aren't F and C? No. This picture I'm showing you here is an absolute rule of music. Whenever you look in the treble clef and see 1 sharp, it will always mean that that 1 sharp is F sharp. There are no exceptions to that. If you see 2 sharps, you're going to have an F and a C sharp. Those are the only 2 sharps you can have, and that rule applies to all of them. So there's no way you can have a key and the 1 flat is G flat or the 1 sharp is C sharp. It will always go in that order. Second question, why is it important to know what key you are in when you are playing? Well, the first one is obvious. You have to know which notes to play sharp or flat, and that's just common sense. If I look at a piece of music and I see 1 flat, I know I'm going to have to play all B flats, and it becomes automatic to me. And same thing with 1 sharp. I know that's F sharp. Now, when it comes to more complex key signatures, like something with 4 flats or 5 sharps, that does get harder. Even for many, many advanced pianists, that is very, very hard to remember all the sharps or all the flats. The second thing you want to remember is that key signatures and chords go together. Now, remember when you played Amazing Grace? We said it was in the key of F. Well, what was the home chord? You started on the chord of F. You ended on the F chord too. That's not a coincidence. Notice over here on this chart, when you don't have any sharps on flats, that's the key of C. Did you play a C major chord? In those songs, you played a C major chord all the time. And third of all, you have to know this whenever you're playing with other musicians. If I'm going to sit down and play a piece with a singer or a guitarist, and you're going to get to do both those things in this lesson, you have to make sure you're in the same key, or else they're going to be playing different notes than you, and that's going to sound really bad. And I've heard that from amateur musicians all the time. Final set of questions here. Why is music written in different keys? First of all, some keys have a different sound or feeling to them. If every single song out there was in the same key, it would just kind of be boring. And you know, as you play music more and listen to music more, you'll kind of see why this is. The second reason is that as music developed throughout time, it was mainly vocal music, and this is pretty obvious. They didn't have massive factories and they didn't have um, ways of producing musical instruments like they do today. It was very, very hard hundreds of years ago to have a musical instrument. So what most people did, and of course they had no recorded music, they just sat around and they sang. Well, everybody's vocal range is limited, so it just kind of was an outgrowth of the limited vocal range that we'd have to put songs in different keys. Final question, why does the key of F have one flat where the key has one, G has one sharp, and you could say that for the other key? Why does the key of B flat have two flats? Why does the key of D have these two sharps? I mean, what's the connection there? That's something I could explain to you in theory, but I'd rather just show you a video. So stay tuned to watch the next video. We're going to, on day 2, I'm going to go to the piano and I'm going to show you the easiest way I have of explaining why music is in different keys and how keys and key signatures and scales go together. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.